Are you following the pro wrestling world, or is
Not a bit.
Not a bit.
It's just too difficult.
Really?
It's like it'd be like watching, the love of my life, my ex, go on her next date. I just can't watch it.
All right, I am so excited to have our next guest on. We sort of go way back, but not. If you get what I'm saying, you'll understand in a moment. But he has been absolutely killing it. I said that he is the biggest babyface in pro wrestling today. What he's doing on YouTube, what he's done over the past 2+ years, a little over 2 years, has been incredible, outstanding, inspirational, mind-blowing to go from a sort of non-factor on YouTube to one of the most beloved characters in wrestling and one of the most popular channels is amazing. And if you watched wrestling back in the early 2000s, you know all about him winning Tough Enough, you know all about his run, you know about the Undertaker elimination at the Royal Rumble, and then he kind of just fizzled into the night. But now he has resurfaced in a very big way. And we mentioned about a month or so ago, we need to get him on. I just said it. I wanted to get him on some way, somehow, and there he was. And now here we are. Let us say hello to the one and only Maven Huffman. Is he here? Ah, yes, one of the best dressed guys in the business, if not the best. Yes.
I am here.
Hey, Maven. Ariel here.
Hey.
I wanted to say that. How are you, sir?
Such a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
a-
Are you recording this? Is this for the channel?
There you go.
Are we live right now?
We're not
This is
live,
for later.
but it is for my partner.
I just got off the phone.
Okay. Oh, did you drop your phone?
I did.
Yeah.
I just got off the phone with Diamond Dallas Page.
DDP,
Wanted me to tell you hello.
the man.
One of the truly one of the nicest
Yes.
individuals from the professional wrestling business I've ever had the pleasure of knowing.
I'm sort of in awe of you sitting right in front of me here.
Why is that?
Because I watch you so much on YouTube these days. Like, you're my thing. You're my thing.
That's good.
It's unbelievable, man. And I don't know if you know this, but this is actually the second time we've met.
Oh, gosh, you're going to Tony Khan me.
No.
I evidently met Tony Khan back in 2004 with Randy Orton. I did not remember that.
Okay.
So, tell me, when did we meet?
Okay, and first of all, that might be the first and only time that someone says that I'm Tony Conning them. Because, yeah, we have a bit of a history. 2002,
Okay.
I'm in college at Syracuse University. In fact, I had a wrestling MMA radio show
Gotcha.
called The Main Event. I wanted to be doing this,
Right.
what I'm doing right here. I'm Canadian. WrestleMania 18 is in Toronto.
Yes.
My friends and I buy tickets in the rafters,
Oh,
like
yeah.
literally fourth to last row of the Sky Dome. You're on that card.
I was.
You're new to the roster.
I was.
You had just won Tough Enough a few months prior. They don't care about the guys, the autographs, the pictures. I want to go to the fan access.
Right.
And there I am with Maven Huffman, right over there. There we are,
Get out. Get out.
taking a picture together at the fan access. 2002 in Toronto, you were doing a little thing, a little
great
sort of like seminar thing in the ring.
Yeah.
There were some guys who did like meet and greets. You were just kind of out and about. There I am. There you are. I was stoked.
I still remember that they gave us the jerseys.
Yes,
when I
yes.
interviewed Spike Dudley on our channel, he wore that exact same jersey. It said like WM18.
Yes.
on
With
it.
the X8. The
yeah,
X8.
with the X8.
Yes.
Yeah, that is so cool. Oh gosh, looking at younger me,
Yes.
you still look good.
No, you look fantastic.
I look like a child. I look like such a
So there we are. What about these suits, by the way? Who's making these suits for you? You always look fantastic.
and there's a little bit of a story behind it. When I did Chris Van Vliet's
Yes. Shout
show
out.
for the first time, yeah, absolutely, another Canadian.
Another Canadian.
And I don't want to say, because I don't want to demean our first interview, but it was in Hamburg, Pennsylvania. It was after about a 3-hour signing, and it was in a building that was, no lie, about 90 degrees. I looked like a garbage collector, and no pun intended to garbage collectors. Thank you for what you do. But I wasn't dressed to respect Chris, but respect myself. And I've always said, I said after that very first interview, because anytime I see anything that comes up from that, I kind of cringe a little bit. I want and demand more of myself. The suits come from when I thought wrestling was in my rear view. I started working a few blocks down the street on Wall Street. And working on Wall Street, you have to look the part. And I just invested in looking nice. And then I see guys like Cody Rhodes. I see, just a lot of guys from today's wrestling business. They're always dressed sharp. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna I'm going to do that too. Showing respect to you, showing respect to me, and just, when you look good, you feel better.
I mean, well, you look fantastic.
Thank
I
you.
want to make you look even better because this is covering your face. Let me get a shot of Maven right here, so it doesn't look.
There we go. I'm number 3.
You see that?
There
Yeah,
we
there you
go.
go. Because it was covering your face.
What
Is this your full-time job now? What you're doing with the YouTube channel?
more or less. It
Okay.
is. And it just demands so much. It demands more of my time than I thought. When we first started, I had an X amount dollar figure that I wanted to hit. And I said, if I can make X amount of dollars per month, it'll change my life. We did that in month 1.
Wow.
And since then, it's just managed to grow. And I have an amazing partner. My partner, Zach. Occasionally you get put and teamed with the right people. And we both have the same vision. I would not be where I am in my second run in the wrestling business without him. And I don't think he'd be where he is without me. So we meld together. We're 100% 50-50. And there's not a day that goes by we don't talk and make plans. Right before I jumped in the car to come out here, I was filming something for a fan, who wants to meet one of the wrestlers. So it's what I thought was going to be a part-time job has turned into I'm doing something daily for the YouTube channel, and I could not be happier.
How did you meet Zach? And was he the one that explained to you this business and said you should do it, or did you look for someone to help you do it?
The thought of doing a YouTube channel was so far removed from my mind.
Okay.
When I did the first interview with Chris, I didn't even have an Instagram set up. And Zach reached out to me on LinkedIn, sent a message just saying he even admitted he didn't think anything would ever come from it. I answered him within a day, and we started the planning stages.
So what do you say? We should be in business? We should do a YouTube channel?
Here's basically what he said. I have a YouTube channel. His current YouTube channel is Tap Out Corner. He said, I make X amount of dollars from it a month. I've always wanted to do a channel with a former wrestler. I think you'd be great. Would you be interested? I said, absolutely. We then set up a Zoom call where we talked for about an hour and a half. He explained what it takes to be a successful YouTuber, and he gave me some homework. He gave me guys like Mr. Beast and Mark Rober, guys to watch, and he said, watch what they do and tell me if you watch more than one video, why. And at that point, I didn't realize it, but my YouTube lesson planning had started.
Wow.
And it's been over 2 years now, and I'm steadily learning what it takes to be successful on that platform.
And so you didn't think at first this is a scam. This guy just tries to, convince me to do this, but he's going to steal my money or something. You were fully all in off the bat.
Once you meet my partner,
Okay.
he's salt of the earth guy. I never thought he was a scam or it was a scam in any way, but I met him and I've been comfortable with him since day one. He's literally the nicest guy I've ever met.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
No one I'd
high
rather
praise.
be partnered with.
Yeah, that's incredible. And it seems like it because I always
Stealing
see you.
this mug, by the way.
Please.
Yeah. I told you. Told your guy.
And I want to see it in a video. I want to pop for that. So thank you.
It's going to go on my desk at home.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That you launched in June of 2023 as your first video.
Right.
When do you start talking, and how long does it take to launch it?
We started talking in April. I think it was April 26th was the date that he sent me the first message.
So it didn't take long for you to put out the first.
Yeah.
You put it out, you turn the lights on. What are your expectations? And are you sitting there fixated on the numbers?
It took about 2 weeks of videos being out before I was fixated. He told me, and it still rings in my head because we put 2 videos out, and I still remember looking at our very first video where I was rating wrestlers part 1.
Yes.
And I remember seeing that I think it was 571 people had viewed that video. I couldn't believe it. And I'm thinking, there's no way 500 people woke up wondering what Maven was doing. There's just no chance. And I told him, and I was flipping out. I'm like, I can't believe this. And he told me, and it still rings in my head because it was just so weird. He said, that's nothing. I'll tell you when we wake YouTube up.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't know what that means, and I think it was 2 days later, I woke up, it was a Sunday morning, and he said, okay, we've done it. And I looked on, and I looked at the number, and I was like, what? 200,000, and our first video had, I think it was 225,000 views, and our second video was around the 150 mark, and I did what any normal human being would do. I closed YouTube out because there's no way this is accurate. This is false. I opened it up and I called him immediately, and I was like, "Am I seeing what I think I'm seeing?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "We woke YouTube up. We got into the algorithm."
Right.
And then at the next 3 days was a whirlwind. I had people that I worked with on the Home Shopping Network that I haven't talked to for years, reaching out saying, "Your video came up in my feed." And that is the key to YouTube. Being able to touch non-wrestling fans.
Right.
That's why we've had the success we've had.
I'm surprised it only took 2 weeks.
I mean, I'm just on
I thought you would say 2 months.
No, it took
Wow.
about 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Wow.
then he told me, he was like, we have something here. We're doing, but he also explained it to me, and part of his pitch was wrestlers do it wrong. And no offense to any wrestler that goes out and does a Zoom or do what they do, but YouTube's just a different beast. And from the start, we said we're never going to do an interview over Zoom. We're going to do exactly what we're doing here in person. We're going to do a little bit, take that extra step to make our videos just a little better in every one. For instance, we did our Mount Rushmore, my Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling. And we went to Mount Rushmore and filmed it. I was walking in unrestricted areas with the little, the little game wardens there allowing us to film. But it's just that little bit extra that makes our videos different.
At that point, when he's reaching out to you and you're getting this going, are you following the pro wrestling world? Or
Not a bit.
Not a bit?
Not a bit.
Nothing?
Still don't.
Still don't?
Still don't.
Well, that's interesting because the majority of your content isn't this happened last night.
It won't be.
It won't be.
Nah, that's we do, and you'll know the term. We do evergreen content,
Right.
Meaning whether they watch it today, tomorrow, or in 10 years, it's still going to be relevant content. It's still going to be something that they can click on and say, "Huh, I'm still learning something. This is still valuable to me." If we do what I think is going to happen in SummerSlam this Sunday, well, 2 weeks from now, no one's going to watch that. And meaning there's no earning potential moving past whatever event you're talking about.
Why don't you watch wrestling?
It's too hard. It's like
The time commitment?
Nah, it has nothing to do with that. It's just too difficult.
Really?
It's like it'd be like watching the love of my life, my ex, go on our next date and tell me, "Hey, this is my new boyfriend. He's great."
Something years later.
Yeah, it's still too tough. It's still too
Really?
too difficult.
And despite the fact that you've enjoyed the success, perhaps
I love wrestling.
Okay.
I love it. I love everything about it. I think it's truly one of the best forms of entertainment going, and I root for its success. I hope all the superstars. I hope the Cody Rhodes. I hope the Seths. I hope the Usos. I hope the MJFs. I hope the Adam Pages. I hope all those guys have careers I never dreamed of. I just can't watch it. It's just I'm a human being. I get jealous. I watch them, and a little bit of me is upset that I still can't do it. That age, Father Time has indeed done what Father Time does, and it's just too tough. Yeah, it's too hard.
And has it been that way since you left in 05?
Absolutely.
And even if it's a WrestleMania or there's a big angle,
Won't watch.
won't watch.
Won't watch.
You haven't had a WrestleMania party or been invited?
I went to, and it was just because it was a booking, a few years back. And actually, the guy who booked me on this, I officiated his wedding this past weekend.
Wow.
Yeah. He had me come, and I watched that WrestleMania. I think it was one of the first years they did the 2 nights. I did his night one, and I did another guy's. But that was just because it was a booking, and I was being paid to be there. But it's just too tough to watch.
I've heard on your channel, you told the story about the tryout in Florida right before the pandemic. It seemed like you're going to be brought in as a broadcaster, right? At that point, you don't know who these guys are, or did you have to watch a little bit just to catch? Because if you're about to get hired by the company, you have to be somewhat up to speed, right?
They did, and they encouraged me to get up to speed. Perfect turn of phrase there. And I did. I watched for probably 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
And so I knew who a lot of the guys were. I knew storylines. I knew angles going into it, just so I could speak intelligently to it. But then the tryout, they put put matches of guys that I was familiar with. They've put a few matches to call with the talent and the stars of today, but I think one of the matches they had me calling was Matt Cardona and Brian Myers because they knew they were buddies of mine. So,
do you have resentment towards the business?
Not at all. Gosh, no. Wrestling has given me I wouldn't be sitting here. I wouldn't have met you. I wouldn't be sitting in the new house I just moved in last week. Wrestling has done everything that the 8-year-old me that grew up in Virginia wouldn't have even dared to dream. Wrestling's given me a life. It's given me purpose, as crazy as that sounds. And I think without purpose, we're aimless in life.
Now, perhaps an easier question to answer in 2025 when you're killing it in this sort of like new chapter in wrestling. If we're talking in 2015, where you're sort of the guy who, had the brief run and then had the issues, are you giving the same answer? Or was there a time where you did actually feel resentment towards it?
I don't want to say feel resentment towards wrestling itself. Wrestling didn't make the decisions I made. I made them. I have never and will never blame anything or anyone for anything bad that's ever happened in my life. I'm a man that I own my baggage, like I like to say. It's just, there was a time when I was so far removed from wrestling, I would not take any bookings. Somebody called, I would politely and respectfully decline. I wouldn't, Maven, we want you to do the big event. No, thanks. Nah, I'm good. We want you to come on our podcast. Nope, I'm good.
Really?
Yeah. And if there was any type of resentment, it was a resentment that led me to just distancing myself from the business.
And so now when you say, okay, we're only going to do evergreen, we're not going to talk about the news.
We try.
And there's things that obviously you're doing, but is there any fear that you'll run out of things?
There was for a while, but fortunately, like I said, my partner, he's good. And he comes up with ideas that make me think, oh, okay, I haven't thought about that. That's a great idea. Let's look into it. I've already changed what I said I wouldn't do, like originally, and I still won't. But when we first started the channel, I said I'm not going to tell other guys' stories. Devon Dudley, for instance. Devon's one of my best friends in the business. Oh, and by the way, wants to come on your show.
Oh yeah.
I'll pass on his information. But Devon has stories. Let's say Devon wanted to talk about the TLC matches. I could do those videos, but it wouldn't be doing them justice because they're not my stories. So the way we get around that is we just have Devon come on our platform and talk and tell his stories. So when I first started, I didn't think we would be incorporating others into the channel, but I quickly found out that it's a way to keep what we do fresh, and it's a way to just keep the audience tuning in week after week. Because one week I might be talking about what it's like for me to get fired, the day I got fired, and the next week I might be showcasing Buff Bagwell and the journey he's going through, or talking about interviewing Mark Lyda and having him tell his story about what it's like to not be on 6 Feet Under anymore. That's how we have managed to not only stay relevant, but tell other stories and do it in a respectful way.
Why do you think people like you so much? Because it's all positivity.
Lack of knowledge.
Unbelievable. I was saying earlier, like, wrestling is so tribal, and you go on Twitter, and it's like AEW this, WWE this. They think I'm biased. They think this guy's biased. They're mad at Bully Ray. You get none of that.
Yeah.
Why are you so down the middle? Why does everyone seem to love Maven?
You want to know my honest answer?
Please.
I'm every man. I'm still the fan that made it. The fan that sent a video into Tough Enough. The fan that lived every person's dream. Tonight's Monday night. People are going to tune into Netflix. They're going to watch Monday Night Raw. And a good majority of the men that watch are going to say to themselves, man, I could do that. Man, I could go out there. I could do that. I'm entertaining. I could do that. And I'm the fan that actually got to live it, got to do it. And then we live in such a world now where you can make a living off of being a victim. And I refuse to do that. I refuse to place blame on anyone. I take the good and the bad parts of my life, and I lay it all out there. And I say, this is where I messed up. Here's what I've learned. Here's where I'm going to try to be better. And I think we live in a world where people don't do that. And I think it's refreshing when you do see it. I know for me,
Yes.
I'm so refreshed when I see someone who, you use the word bitter. I'm refreshed when I see someone who isn't bitter about bad breaks they've received along the way. They view opportunity as something that they can either take or they can let pass them by.
Or let define them, right? And then they sort of wallow in it. And so a perfect example of this is you do the video on Raja Jackson.
Right.
It's received a certain way. You quickly go on live with your partner, Zach, and you say like, yo, you know what? I think I messed that one up.
Yeah. Wrong. We were trying to get a video out. We had an hour to do it, and I misspoke. No one forced me to it. My bad. Here's what I said. I probably shouldn't have used the phrase that I used.
Which was what?
I said, because we were talking about, the Raja incident and I said it was borderline assault. I mean, it wasn't.
You got so mad.
Yeah, they got pissed.
Yes.
Yeah. But rightfully so, because it was nothing borderline about it. It was assault. And in my mind, I'm just not thinking at the moment throwing the word borderline in it. So the next day, we tried to make amends. But here's the thing about it. I didn't go on there and apologize for anybody out there. I did it for me. Because if I offer an apology, you either can accept it or not. But I have to be the one that looks at myself every morning and every night in the mirror. And I have to be happy and proud of the man I am. Trust me, I've been, with about 10 years ago, I hated looking at myself in the mirror.
Really?
Yeah. I just.
Why?
Because for the early part of the 2000s, I mean, I had everything going in my favor, in my way. And again, to no fault to anybody but me, I messed it all up. And I had taken opportunity and I had squandered it. And there for a while I was wondering, maybe I don't have what I think I have to offer. And I mean, I went from being on live television to being out in a bar at 3 a.m, taking people's IDs, doing security. I mean, that's quite a step.
That's one of the many different hats you wore.
Exactly. Yeah. It humbled me.
That was the word I was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you feel at any point embarrassed, ashamed?
Nightly.
Okay. Did you get recognized?
Occasionally, and I hated it every time I did.
So you were literally the guy at the door saying,
"Yes,
wow."
Yeah. Deciding if people were getting in a bar
because you couldn't get any kind of other job.
We moved after my arrest in 2012. We moved from Florida back to New York because my girl, she's from this area. And, when people say that they're starting from scratch, I lost 2 houses and every possession I had fit in the back of my truck. Wow. Now that's starting from scratch. And when you're in your 30s and you're trying to start afresh, trying to start new, it's tough to stand out with a business resume. And because most people want to hire entry level, and entry level means you're in your early 20s and you're not in your late 30s. So it was tough. It was tough to stand out, and I needed money to come in, and doing security work was at least easy money. Night in and night out. But yeah, occasionally I would get noticed and it was tough. I'm not gonna lie. It was embarrassing every time people would want to take pictures. I would do it, but I certainly wasn't having the candid conversation with them that you and I are having.
This is in the city?
It was. Yeah.
Do you know the name of the place?
Oh yeah, it was the first place I worked at. And I'm so thankful that I had friends that stepped out and said, "You're moving. Let's put some money in your pocket." The first place was called Sutton Place, Midtown 1015. It was over on 2nd Ave. And the second place I worked was a gentleman's club called Vivid Cabaret.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so guys come up there occasionally and say, "Aren't you?"
Yes. Yeah.
Did you ever try to lie to them?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I would joke with them. I'd be like, "That's my brother."
Okay.
Yeah, he's a jerk. But I never tried to run away or hide from who I was. I just hoped people wouldn't recognize me.
Right.
If that makes sense.
The girl that you speak of, same one you're with now?
Same one.
Gina?
Yeah, same one that's in my videos.
Well, yes, because she made it a few appearances.
She has.
You guys aren't married, though?
I mean, no, we're not married, but
But you've been together for so long.
Yeah, we've
She's
been-
stuck with you through all these ups and downs. How many years?
we got together in 2011.
Okay.
And think about it. My arrest happened about a year later. And we had a house in Florida right on the water. I still had my house in Virginia. And following my arrest, I mean, I'm talking everything crumbled. Everything caved in because I had no income coming in. My HSN job, gone. And yeah, she never gave me a hard time about it either.
Really?
Yeah. She could have easily.
She didn't threaten to leave you. You got to clean this up.
She said we're going to New York because she had connections here. She's like, I can make money in New York now, and it's time. So,
Wow.
Yeah. She's a Jersey girl though. She hated being down in Florida anyway.
Okay, so this was a good reason.
Wow, yeah, it was her chance to get back to her home.
I mentioned everyone loves you. When I say that, I speak of the fans. Do you think any of the guys, and I know there's been some things with the RVDs of the world and whatnot, do you think there are some guys who don't like that you speak so much about the behind-the-scenes stuff? I know it's somewhat the norm now, Unreal, all this stuff, but do you know of any guys who are like, man, you're talking a little bit too much?
Probably some. When we did the AEW video, I
That was tremendous.
Oh, thank you. When we did that video, I mentioned on Chris Van Vliet's channel that there were a few guys, and we're there with a camera, but we're by no means making anyone go on camera with us. And Max Caster came up, and I go up, and I've known Max from Brian Myers' school, and I go up just to say hi, and he respectfully tells me, hey, don't want to be on film, just want to keep kayfabe, no problem. Absolutely no problem. If anyone does have an issue with anything that I'm saying, I respect their decision. I respect their stance. I'm not going to tell anybody how they should feel about what we do. We're all adults. Have your feelings. And, I mean, we're still going to do what we're going to do. We just live in a new world. We live in a world where information is as important as the action in the ring. I truly believe that.
Does it ever get to you?
What
Meaning, does someone reach out to you and be like, hey, that was a little too much?
Nah.
No.
They don't pay my bills.
No, yeah, okay. Well, I'm not telling you that they're going to ask you to stop,
Yeah.
but just be like, yo, man, no.
I'm 48 years old.
Right.
I'm not trying to make friends.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
How did you pull off the AEW visit? Did you reach out to them?
Actually, one of the guys that I worked with in my time in WWE, guy that I would work with almost weekly, reached out, and he's doing for AEW what his job was for the WWE. Anytime we would have a media day, anytime we would be doing anything, outside the ring, go to Vancouver and do radio and TV spots for an upcoming show. He was the guy that was setting it up. Well, he reached out through Colt Cabana. Colt put us in contact, and he said, we'd love to have you come in. And here's where I talk about my partner and just how amazing he is. We started just the normal conversation on what some ideas might be. Within 20 minutes, my partner had listed 10 ideas of videos that we could run with AEW. We sent them over, and we said, here's 10 ideas. Choose which one you want us to do.
Wow.
Because at the end of the day, it's still YouTube. We have to make a YouTube video, which is where the I snuck in idea came from.
Okay.
Obviously, I did not sneak in, but we have to make it a YouTube video. We have to grab people. If people want to say it's clickbaity, I get it, but it's still, we're still telling a story.
At any point, was there conversations of you working for AEW?
Working for them like full time?
Doing stuff for them, TV stuff, commentary stuff.
None that went anywhere.
So this conversation was just about doing
one off.
Covering them.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Would I entertain?
Yeah.
I would entertain ideas from all three of the big.
I'm shocked. Has anyone reached out to you recently?
Nobody.
I'm shocked.
Nobody.
Why do you think that is? You're such a good speaker. You're
don't
so
know.
charismatic.
I don't know.
Are you interested?
I would explore any options that came my way. Like I said, I still and always will love professional wrestling. I will always be an ambassador for the business. I'd like to think that I'm old enough now where the childish mistakes that I made in my 20s and early 30s are behind me. I'd like to think so. So I think I'd be a good representation for any company that might bring me in. And at the end of the day, I think I can talk. I think if there's one thing God blessed me with, it's the ability to run this hole under my nose. So, but it hasn't happened, and I'm never going to look at opportunities that aren't
Right.
in my lap and be upset. I'm only going to look at what I have in front of me and be grateful. And right now we have a successful YouTube channel that is making me more money than I thought possible, and I thank the good Lord day in and day out for this opportunity
At this point, you can live off of what you make on the YouTube channel.
and live well.
Live well.
And live well.
More than you ever could have dreamed.
I make more now than I made when I was wrestling.
Really?
Yes.
What about in the financial world?
Yeah. It's that's so hit or miss though.
Close enough.
Yeah.
It's a conversation.
It is.
If a company said, we want you to come on, we're going to give you the perfect job for you, you're on board, you love it, you love the salary, but you have to shut down the channel.
Not happening.
Not happening.
Not happening. It's a hard no.
Really?
Hard no.
Even we'll pay you a little
Hard no.
extra. Okay.
Hard no.
Really? Why?
Because I'm right now I'm my own boss.
Yeah.
Because right now, 2 months ago, I got to jump in my car and drive and tell the Buff Bagwell story.
Incredible.
And after that, we were there with Buff for 3 days, and we went straight from Buff in Atlanta and drove 4 hours to Savannah, and I got to tell the Matt Lyda story. And my partner and I, we're a two-man show, and his brother does our editing. So totally, we have 3 people doing what we do. And as hard as it is to fathom, we break wrestling news occasionally.
Big time. Yeah. I mean, that's great journalism.
And
what
it's-
you guys did with Buff is like legit
Yeah.
journalism.
Yeah, and I wouldn't give that up for. I've learned. I chased money for so long, and I learned that, man, I'd rather be happy, and I'm happier now than I was back when I was wrestling, back when I was working for the big company. I'm way happier now, and I'll take happy over filthy rich any day.
Is that because you don't have to answer to anyone because it's so political?
It's because I'm doing what I want to do, and I can say no. Occasionally, my partner will have ideas, and I'm nah. I don't think I can tell that story, or let's avoid that topic. Yeah, we're our own bosses. Yeah.
Is it not exhausting though at times? Like when I saw your video.
Hmm.
No, you did a video about like the unwritten rules way back in the day. You did the unwritten rules, and it's like, number 1, shake everyone's hand. Right. Number 2, like there's so much that you have to do. Otherwise, that's exhausting, right?
It's stupid. It's just stupid. Wrestling has a bunch of just dumb, and I guess it's and you'll hear people talk about, well, it's showing that you'll take care of people in the ring. It's not. It's just a way to get people heat. I've seen so many times wrestlers would, so and so didn't shake so and so's hand, and then they have heat backstage. It's just stupid.
Does that still exist?
Of course it exists. Well, let me say, I'm not in a locker room.
Sure.
So I don't know if it exists to the level of the way it was when I was there. But when I was backstage at AEW, that environment seemed like a good place to work.
Okay, I was going to ask you about
It
that.
seemed like a good place to work.
Good vibe.
Great vibes. And Tony Khan seemed like the best boss to work for. I know he gets a lot of critics, talking about him online. I sat and watched. They were about 30 minutes away from ending the show, and my contact told me, Tony wants to meet with you. He just has to wait till obviously the show's over. So no problem. I mean, we're here. We don't have any place to be.
Yeah.
So I sat and I watched Tony for 30 minutes, and every wrestler that came out of that ring, he got up from his producing chair, took his headphones off, made sure every one of them was healthy, happy with the match that they had just had. And you can tell when someone cares as opposed to when someone's going through the motion. He cares. I left, and I told him to his face, you have changed my perception on what I thought you were. And everybody that I talked to there seemed happy to be there and seemed happy with the product that they were putting out in front of the fans.
That behavior not common? You get back.
I've worked in locker rooms where it was a job.
Okay.
And there were times, especially in WWE, and remember when the Vince bought WCW and you have an influx of brand new talent, and then it's just, It was a rough place, a rough locker room. I often tell people wrestling is the wrestling locker room. It's high school all over again. Only difference, every person is the homecoming king and every girl is the homecoming queen. There are just so many big A-type personalities. It's just tough to juggle from time to time.
Is that because all these? So they bought it in March of 2001. You win in September of 2001. Right. You debut in October. So it's still very fresh where these new faces are coming in. What a fascinating time in the business.
Absolutely.
You could tell when a new face comes in, like they're trying to mesh, they're not meshing, they're trying to do. You could feel all of that, even though you're new to it. You could understand.
100%.
Really?
Yeah, you could see little, and no pun intended, little clicks forming. You could see and you could hear people just talking under their breath about, so-and-so, they're not going to make it, or did you see that match they had, or whatever. You could just see competition, and it was basically like lions at a watering hole with a limited amount of water. It's just, it was dog eat dog. Although it kind of helped me because it took some of the heat from Tough Enough off my shoulders.
Intimidating?
Completely. A wrestling locker room is the most intimidating place on earth. I mean, but I walked in young, a child still, and then, there's Stone Cold. Oh, there's The Rock. There's Taker.
Yeah.
There's Shawn. All these faces, all these men I had idolized growing up. And then, on top of that, add in, you do a match with one of them, and maybe you don't perform to their expectations, and then, oh my gosh, I just let my idols down. It's very intimidating.
Who was nicest to you? Because obviously you had the relationship.
That Devon was an asshole to me.
He was an asshole, right?
Complete asshole to me, yeah. But who was the nicest? Stevie Richards.
Really?
Stevie was nice from
Why? Another YouTuber.
He's just another salt of the earth guy.
Went out of his way?
Out of his way. But a lot of,
I thought you'd say Al Snow.
Al was like a father, though.
Right.
But there's a lot of guys that went out of their way and never viewed me. Like I said, we did an interview. We did that interview with PJ, with Just Incredible. He was always cool to me. God rest his soul, and I can't wait to see what his son does. Umaga. Umaga took me under his wing when I got to HWA.
Really?
Absolutely. And from day one, him and Jimmy Yang and Easy Money, they took me in and made me one of them. So at least at HWA, I didn't have to worry about any of that BS. But guys like Val Venus was always great to me. Rico was great to me. There were more people were good to me than weren't.
Did you ever feel like someone was trying to sabotage you?
I don't want to say sabotage, no, but I definitely think that there were probably people that, And here's what's crazy about it, man. And I found this out in real time. Real time. We're doing our video on the night I was GM. Raw GM. I hadn't watched that match in over 20 years. I don't watch my stuff. I don't watch my wrestling matches. I'm way too critical. I'm like, I should have done this, or why did I do that? So I'm watching this match for our YouTube video. And I noticed, because I just know the business now way different than I did then, Hunter was having to call every spot to me. Every spot. And it just hit me, like slapped me across the face. Man, I wasn't ready. I wasn't. Like, yeah, the veteran should be leading the rookie or the less knowledgeable guy through a match, but he shouldn't have to call every spot. There was a spot where I came up and I punched him. And you see him, his head go down, and he tells me, stay on me, punch me again. Stuff I know now.
Right.
But I didn't know then. So, it's just, I was mad and I was hurt and I was upset when they let me go, but this is all stuff I should have known. He should not have had to walk me through every, as far as punch. Okay, punch me. I should have known, stay on him. Finding that out in real time while we were doing a video, it made me look at things a whole lot different. So an anger I might have had at somebody or something for me feeling maybe they didn't give me my full opportunity, it was, they should have. They had every right to let me go when they did.
Do you think that if they maybe put you somewhere for a year and they didn't do the thing where you come in a month later and then and you really got to be somewhat seasoned, it would have turned out differently?
But then you're not capitalizing on the buzz from
Right,
something else.
right.
They had the only move, which was, hey, this is a show we just did. We need to maximize it. I get why they did what they did. I mean, would it have probably boded better for my career? Absolutely. But that's not the cards I was.
Right. You did a video on Unreal, and you said something that kind of made a lot of news, where you said no one trusted you, Hunter,
Yeah.
other than Sean, I guess. What did you mean?
And I'm
by
not
that?
going to say who, but I had at least five wrestlers reach out to me and thank me for what I said.
Wow.
5.
Active, non-active?
Non-active.
Okay. What did you mean when you said no one trusted you?
Everybody knew backstage. Everybody. And I know it got a lot of, and that's not what I didn't mean to, break news or whatever, but, it just, people knew Hunter what he was positioning himself for, which is what he's got now. But I don't want to act like he didn't deserve it or he didn't earn it. He does. You're never going to find a better or a more intelligent mind when it comes to professional wrestling than with Triple H. He's earned every right. Every right that he has truly earned. But yeah, if people want to act like guys backstage felt different, okay, that's their opinion. I see it differently.
So what's interesting about that word is, like, when I think of trust, I think of like, oh, and I know this is not what you mean, but initially you're like, oh, did he try to like take liberties with you?
No, he was never like that. Never, no. I wrestled him several times, and I'll always put Hunter on.
Protected you.
100%.
Okay.
And there was never anybody better to be in the ring with. Hunter could keep me from blowing up, meaning getting tired as I'm wrestling, and he was always the easiest person to put a match together with, just because his knowledge is so expansive. But people just backstage, they knew, okay, Hunter's office. It's that simple.
Okay.
He was office, and guys knew that. And guys knew if you're saying something in front of him, it's going to get back to the office.
Understood.
That's what I meant by that.
The decision to have you eliminate the Undertaker.
Yeah.
Who is to get that credit? Who came up with that?
I always, and for 20-some years, I thought it was Shane. I thought Shane.
Because Royal Rumble was his thing,
Yes,
right?
Absolutely. And when I got there that day, because I flew in, I woke up the morning of the Rumble in Cincinnati, and Les Thatcher told me, "You're flying to Atlanta, kid." And I jumped on a plane and flew.
That day?
That day.
Wow.
Arrived in Atlanta for the Rumble, got to the arena late. I think I got there around 3 o'clock, and they immediately ushered me to the ring where I found Taker and Shane. And Shane was the one who told me, "You're eliminating Taker." So I've always thought that it was Shane's idea. And when I did 6 Feet Under with Taker, he told me it was his idea.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does that blow you away?
Blows me away.
When you were told that information,
Yeah.
you're like, what the hell, right?
Absolutely.
I remember that. I remember exactly where I was. I was in my dorm room. I remember what you used to wear. I love the fact that they would just give you like running shoes.
Oh, yeah.
And the pants.
Oh, no, they didn't give me, though. That was
Oh, those were yours.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
the
fact that you-
pajama pants?
Yeah.
Easy Money made me those pants with that M on it.
Yeah.
He made me those literally spur of the moment because I needed something.
But it was
go out
perfect because you kind of looked like
looked the
rags to riches. Like you're hard on your luck right now. You don't have the money. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
And the drop kick
Yeah.
was a thing of beauty. Imagine, like you nailed him with that.
Yeah.
How nervous were you?
As nervous as I've ever been and will ever be doing anything in my entire life.
Wow.
I could be in any position, whether it be on TV or whether it be in front of a live audience, and I'll never be as nervous as I was before I went out for that. Because I knew Taker was pretty clear with me. He said, "As long as you hit me with this drop kick, I can protect you on everything else."
Wow.
Because remember, his back at that point is turned away from me. If I miss him, he can't take the bump. The spot is ruined. And yeah, everything in my career I owe to not only the Undertaker, but to that drop kick. And I'm happy. That's why he told me, he's like, kick the shit out of me. And I'm glad I did. Because after that, my night was over. The rest of that night was easy. Getting hit with the chair, that was easy. The popcorn machine, everything else was easy. I just needed to hit him with that drop kick.
Do you remember getting to the back after that? And
Oh yeah.
What was said to you?
I mean,
Was everyone happy?
everybody. Well, yeah. I mean, everybody still had a job to do. Remember,
Right.
they're still,
the
wrestling
midst of- right.
in the midst of the pay-per-view. But I remember sitting, and I was probably like a little lost puppy dog looking for a belly rub. I remember following Taker everywhere, just making sure he was okay with it. And he's just like the coolest dude. He's like, yeah, man, it was perfect. It was perfect.
Wow.
As long as he was okay, then I knew I was fine. And then later on that night, I started getting calls again from Umaga, from guys, Rosie, Easy Money, Jimmy Yang, guys from HWA. And when I had those guys calling me, I knew I'd done something that was pretty special.
Did you ever suffer from imposter syndrome? Like,
Oh, God, I still do.
still do.
Still do, yes. I think everybody suffers from a little bit of imposter syndrome. Because if you don't, that's telling everybody I deserve and I belong to be in this seat right here. And I don't think that's just the way we as human beings are wired. I think everybody has a little bit of, whether it be nerves or just, I don't know if I can necessarily do this. But I think that's healthy. I think that's good. I think that forces us to be our best versions of ourselves.
I've heard you tell the story multiple times where it's like one of the cardinal sins that you made, for lack of a better word, was you didn't go to the ring when you when you get to the show, go to the ring, work on stuff. You didn't do that. What did you do instead of that?
Oh, I went to the gym. I was riding with Randy, and Randy was Randy's one of those talents that comes along every 100 years. And Randy was great from day one. And I probably thought unwisely that I was in his league. I was not. I did everything but. We'd go to the gym. There was times I'd go find an empty office and take a nap.
Wow.
Yeah, just when I should have been, and when I say by going to the ring, I should have went, because there were guys. There were the Fit Finleys and the Shelton Benjamins, and there were guys, the Dean Malenkos, guys with unlimited wrestling knowledge in that ring, just waiting, hoping they can pass it on. And I should have been there just soaking up like a sponge every bit of that knowledge. And
so
I didn't.
And did anyone tell you, like, hey man?
Oh, yeah. Johnny Ace told me all the time.
Wow.
Maven, get to the ring.
And what'd you say?
Oh, yeah, Johnny. Yeah, I'll get there. Yeah. I'm going to eat, and I'll be right there.
And you would never go.
I wouldn't say never. I just didn't go as much as I should have. I would go find whoever I was wrestling on Raw that night, go over my match, make sure I had my match down, and then go do something else.
Wow.
Again, kid, stupid.
And when you say go to the gym, like you wouldn't leave the arena.
I would, yes, 100%.
Oh, really?
I would leave the facility and go off to a gym and get a workout in.
Oh my gosh. And no one told you, hey, that's a mistake.
I mean, they probably told me, but they didn't. They
So
told
you
me.
thought you were the man. You thought you were the shit.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
And at no point in that are you humbled to the point where you're like, hey man, I might lose my job if I don't start. Like no one's scaring you.
The day
It was just the day.
The day I got fired.
Wow.
I was humbled.
You were blindsided by it. Because you had just signed a new deal, right?
I just signed a new deal, and I felt like I was getting better. If you watch my work, if you watch and when you watch somebody wrestle, here's an easy way to find out how comfortable they are. Their aggression level. If they're aggressive, if everything they do looks like, oh my gosh, they're putting everything into it, they're pretty comfortable in the ring. If their aggression level isn't elevated, that means they're thinking. That means they're trying to not have a bad match. And my aggression level was starting to improve. It was starting to get better. And my moves looked better. I was about as comfortable with my position as I'd ever been. I'd had a little bit of a run with doing main event at Survivor Series. I'd had a little bit of a run with, working with guys like, with Hunter, with Batista, a couple matches, with, just the Jerichos. And I thought, okay, they gave me a taste of what it's like to be up here. Now they're going to pull me back and give me a few years to just get better. That's where I thought they were why they were bringing me down, back to mid-card status where I belonged. And I thought within time I'll earn my way back up to main event status. And then the rug got pulled out. But again, I go back to my match with Hunter. They weren't wrong.
Right.
They weren't wrong.
How did you handle fame? Like being recognized, being popular. You go from being a teacher to the reality. Looking back,
I don't think you forget. I've been around and in a room with The Rock. That's fame.
right. Okay.
That's fame.
So you didn't walk around thinking like you were okay.
Nah. I've never considered myself famous in any way whatsoever, and it's only because I've been around truly famous people.
Right.
You know, where you somebody walks in and just like the movie where the record skips and every eye is on that. Be in a room with The Rock. Every eye's on him. Everybody wants a piece of him. Everybody wants to go up to him. I've never experienced that.
I can't imagine what it would be like. At that point, you're like how old? In the
When I got fired, I think I was 28.
28. So like you're in your mid 20s,
Yeah.
and you're around these larger than life
Yeah.
superstars. I can't imagine what life is like.
It's crazy, especially coming from. I mean, I grew up in the country. I know I don't look it, but I'm as country as you can get. I grew up.
Your
hunting,
story is
fishing.
unbelievable.
It is.
Someone needs to
crazy.
do a movie on you.
It should.
Has
be
anyone done a movie on you?
They have not.
A documentary?
They should.
I feel bad. One thing I hate.
My life is crazier than my wrestling story.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm
crazy.
sorry for bringing this
Nah.
up, but in short,
Yeah.
you have a mom and a dad.
Yeah.
You've never met your dad.
Never met my biological father.
It was you were born out of sort of like an affair.
I was.
Your dad was married.
Yes. From what I heard.
From what you heard, never met him. Never saw a picture of him.
Never saw a picture of him. No, like I said,
Don't even know what he looks like.
I know he's devastatingly handsome. That's all I know.
Do you even know his name?
No.
You've never even been tempted to look him up.
Tempted, maybe, but he didn't want anything to do with me. Here's the story I have. I heard from my uncle, from my mom's brother, my birth mother, her brother, that because I was born in Nashville, Tennessee. At a few days old, my mother invites him over, and he comes over, and she wants to show, here's your son. He had just bought a new Cadillac. And he came, the story I heard was he walked in, took one look at me, and then told my mother, come out and look at my new Cadillac. Which, I guess the apple doesn't fall far because I've been I own a Cadillac. But he never wanted anything to do with me. And if that's the way he felt, I'm fine with it.
Do you know if he's still alive?
No clue.
Okay, and don't care.
Don't care.
Okay.
Yeah.
He didn't try to reach out when you became
Never.
famous.
Never.
Do you know why your name Maven? It's a very unique name.
Yeah, no clue of that either.
Okay.
And my middle name, Clayton. Clayt. Everybody always thought it was Clayton, but it's Clayt, Klate.
Wow.
I always thought maybe my birth father's name was Clayton, but I don't even have that. I don't even have that answer either. And my birth mom, she committed suicide the day after Christmas in '78 when I was 2. So I never got to ask her any of these questions.
Do you know why she did?
I can only assume late 70s. She was white. Late 70s, having a little black curly-haired kid in Virginia wasn't easy. I was then adopted by if you can follow this.
Yes.
My birth mother passes, her brother and his wife, my aunt and uncle, they adopt me. That's who I grew up and still called mom and dad. And before my mom died in '04, I got to ask her, what was the hardest thing about raising me? And she told me. She was like, the looks I would get. I would have you in a grocery store, and just the evil looks I would get, would pierce glass. And so I've often thought it was probably just tough, and having to deal with that. She didn't have, wasn't employed. It's probably just tough.
You put that on yourself, though, because you're saying that you were part of the reason. Is that fair?
I would probably think I was a good majority of the reason, I would think. But
That's a tough thing to put on yourself.
but I don't want to say I carry the burden. I think more than anything, I'm realistic. It's just life. I get how life gets hard sometimes, and I get how sometimes we get overburdened with stuff, and sometimes the only outlet or the only answer we might have might be the one we can't consider. I get that.
Do you have memories of her? No, you were too young, right?
No, I wish I did.
Right.
I really wish I
and
did.
so your dad, obviously we got to know your mother on the show, and I'm sorry obviously that she passed, but I heard you say recently that you cherish
I do.
the footage that you have on Tough Enough that they let you go back and be with her, right? Because she was dealing with cancer.
Right. Yeah.
Is your dad still alive?
He is. Yeah.
Okay.
He is. He's still alive. Still lives in the same house I grew up on. He's actually remarried, and if you can believe this, has 4 kids from the ages of 2 to 13.
Oh my! How old is he?
74.
Wow.
Yeah.
God bless.
Yeah. If anything ever happens, they need to repopulate society. Yeah. Just call him.
You don't have any kids, right?
I have none.
Didn't want?
I wanted them, but wanted them probably too late.
Okay.
I used to see Devon on the road, and he had to be a father away from his kids. And Devon's a great dad. He's always there for him. But I know the challenges that it must have been, because it's tough being on the road and providing, and then just missing birthdays, missing holidays, missing important dance recitals, missing this. And Devon juggles it so well. I always, if I had kids, I wanted to be there. And I don't know if I ever wanted to have a kid that might have the same experiences that I had growing up. Yeah, it was tough. I'm not gonna lie, it was tough.
Well, and when you say experiences, what do you mean by that? Do you mean from like a race standpoint?
Well,
or?
not a race standpoint, but it's just tough. For the longest time, it was me and my mom. It was just us, and I would see people that have, they're going home for the holidays, and they have a big family that they're getting together, and I just never had that. And I don't know. I don't know if it scared me off or it just, yeah. If I ever had kids, it would have been because I could be there day in and day out. And I was never going to put a kid through divorce. And I was going to be able to provide for them. And yeah, all the stuff that I know I never had 100% confidently when I was growing up.
So your adopted parents, they got divorced
They did when I was 10.
when you were 10. Gosh.
Yeah.
So that's another traumatic thing.
Yeah.
Did you have siblings?
Nah, well, I have 2 older brothers, but they were from my adopted parents.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no biological siblings?
No biological.
Were you close with them at least? Like, were they someone?
I wouldn't say close. Close when they were the kind of siblings that would come and visit during the summer.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, they were 7 years older than me. They made me that, like, I thank them for making me tough, because they would beat the hell out of me.
Really?
Oh my!
They would come home for the summer and beat you up? What?
Yeah, but it toughened me up.
They're 7 years older or so than
Yeah, 7 years older.
Jeez Louise.
I mean, they would literally hold me down outside. I remember getting into a first fist fight I had was with my brother. And I remember growing up, and just all I wanted to do was get to the point to where I was big enough and tough enough to where I could take him. And yeah, when I did that, then, okay, I'm becoming a man.
Are you close with them now?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
Nah.
So it's just you and Gina.
Just us.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it's really amazing. I was looking at your LinkedIn, actually, and you've talked about this a little bit, but you kind of gloss over. I'm a big basketball fan. And like stuck in between there is a cup of coffee with the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
What did you do for them?
Sales. I was in sales.
Maven Huffman, tough enough winner. You're doing sales for the Brooklyn Nets.
It was great because it was my entry level job into the business world, and it gave my resume a little bit more legitimacy.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen without some strife along the way too. I was trying to get into the business world, and I would send my resume out, and I just couldn't get a call back. And finally, the wrestler Pete Gass, who was
The Mean Street Posse.
bingo.
Yeah.
I told him, I'm trying to find a job, trying. And finally, he, was pretty high up with WB Mason. He was like, let me send you in. But I never wanted to use anybody. I never wanted to get a job out of a favor. But he hooked me up with an interview, met with them, went great. They offered me a job, and then they did a background check on me. And when they found my arrest, they had to pull it. And once that happened, my best friend from college, who was at the time a vice president with the Brooklyn Nets, he's now a vice president with the Islanders. He was like, okay. He's like, come in. I'm giving you. And he pretty much got me a job with the Nets.
How long were you there for?
2 seasons.
2 seasons.
Yeah.
Which era was this? Was this like the KD Kyrie?
This was year one was the year before KD.
Okay.
And once they brought KD and Kyrie in,
Your job got easier, probably, right?
Well, it got easier, but then was eliminated.
Right.
I mean, once you sell out the building because of those guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they don't.
So you got let go. You were not needed.
My whole department got let go.
Really?
And not only my whole department, but the 3 managers that I had above me, they're no longer with the Nets either. Yeah.
Because they just didn't need people selling tickets
Once you
anymore?
sell out that,
Right.
you sell out that arena,
Right.
and when you work for a team like the Brooklyn Nets, we weren't allowed to sell Mariah Carey tickets, or if Matt Rife the comedian comes, we're not selling. We're only selling basketball.
Okay.
So once you sell out,
What else is there to do?
what else is there to do? But that led me to my job on Wall Street,
Right.
which I cherished.
And that didn't give you any problems, like the arrest, no issues there.
And I never wanted to use a friend, but he told me I'll gloss that over. And so I go in, I do the interview, I meet with everybody, and then when it came time for the background check, that's when he stepped in.
Okay.
And he made it to where it wasn't an issue.
And the arrest is 2012.
2012.
Doctor shopping.
Doctor shopping.
Opioids.
Yeah. I had a couple doctors that I was just getting painkillers off of. Yeah.
And how'd you get caught?
Because this is going to sound ridiculous, but I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. I wasn't buying them illegally. I wasn't buying them on the streets. And when I got them, I wasn't selling them. Never sold one a day in my life. I was just taking more than I should have. And I was getting them from the pharmacy. So I literally thought I wasn't doing anything wrong. But come to find out, there's a certain amount of painkillers you can get per month. And I was exceeding that limit. So I wasn't trying to hide it. I got busted. And for
But who tips them off?
It's the DEA database. No one had to tip them off.
Okay.
It's a big, gigantic red flag.
Okay.
Just shining. Hey, this asshole's getting way too many painkillers.
Do you spend
at the same pharmacy?
Right. Do you spend any time in prison?
No.
Why not?
I got a good attorney.
Okay.
I mean, at the time I was me and Gina were living in Florida, and our next door neighbor was an attorney. And when they came, and they scheduled, they came, picked me up in the morning. I had my attorney ready. He followed me to the jail. I basically did my intake and bonded out. And then at that point, from then on, it just became how much of a fine I was going to pay.
Which was what?
It was a lot, $25,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you feel like that was rock bottom?
Rock bottom was losing my job. Rock bottom, because I thought I
WWE job.
No. Rock bottom was losing the HSN job, because that was a great gig.
So you were just like a salesman on TV.
Yeah. I was their sports host,
and doing well.
doing very well. It was the easiest job. I'd basically stand and have these amount of cameras, and I would talk and sell NFL merchandise or sports memorabilia. I did a show when they put primetime Deion Sanders in the Hall of Fame. He came in with a line of merchandise, and I got to do a few shows with him. It was easy. It's just basically me standing up and running my mouth, selling NFL stuff.
Right.
Yeah, and great money.
And so they let you go because
of that.
Of the arrest. And that felt like rock bottom.
Yeah, that was rock bottom.
How did you handle rock bottom?
Probably labored in self-pity for a few years.
Years?
Yeah, which is why I'll never allow myself to get in self-pity again. Because it stopped me from growth. I should have just picked myself up, which I eventually did. And rather than think and dwell on all the things that I no longer had, I should have looked forward to the things that I lost. But let's get some more stuff back. Let's start rebuilding the person that you are. Because again, I had days where I just hated the person that I had become, and that was my lowest point. Being embarrassed that I'm of a job that I'm having, which was honest work. No one was giving me money. I was going out there and standing in front of that bar and earning that money. But it wasn't the job that I once had, so I looked down upon it, which was wrong. That was my lowest point.
I feel like I'm kind of going all over the place, but your life is so fascinating,
fine.
and you've had so many different chapters. Going back to that WWE tryout right before the pandemic, you try out, it looks like you're about to get it, and you're there, and then the pandemic hits and everything changes. Why didn't they, once things started to roll back, Why didn't those talks get picked up again?
That happened the day that the world shut down.
Right.
We're in a hotel, and I'm sitting there watching how they're shutting down the NBA season. They're shutting down this, shutting down that. And we were in Florida, and I immediately thought, I got to get back to New Jersey because this is fresh territory for everybody. We don't know, are they going to not allow interstate travel? Who knows?
Right.
So my job was immediately to get back to New Jersey, and I still had hope. I still thought, okay, maybe this is just a small hiccup along the way. But once they started doing the show from the Performance Center with a very skeleton crew, with a very limited cast of characters, they started letting people go. And I knew once they start letting people go, they're more than likely, if they do bring people back, they're going to bring the people back that are familiar with the current product. And I knew it was a long shot.
Even like 8, 9, 10 months later, those talks didn't get rekindled?
Never got rekindled.
Did you try? Did you say, hey, guys, we were talking before?
The guy who I was put in touch with, the guy who set up everything, he was one of the ones that was let go.
And that was it?
Yeah.
Is that one that you lament? Do you say, like, what if? Do you wonder about that?
No. I mean, what does that get you?
Right.
It's like sitting in a rocking chair. It's something to do.
Right.
It's not going to get you anywhere. Instead, I'm happy with the direction it took. I'm happy with the job that I got on, working on Wall Street. I'm happy because it led me to where I am now. Again, I love what I do. I do. I love every Friday when a video goes out. I love seeing the reaction if it's a good one. And I like learning when we do a video that doesn't work. We did a video a couple months back, and it was AI slop. And the fans had no problem in the comments telling me, Maven, this ain't. I think one person wrote, Maven, this ain't it.
Yeah.
And I love that. Like, it's because it's learning. I get to learn. Okay, we tried something. It missed the mark. It didn't work. And I'm forcing myself to get better week after week. And I just love that. I like where my life's at. I like where I'm headed. I love that I'm my own boss. I often talk to Matt Cardona, who I think was the person that showed wrestlers, once you leave one of the feds, there is a life outside of wrestling, and there's a life that you can build for yourself. I think the path he laid forward is just inspirational. And I've told him I love being my own boss. Do you? And he does. Now, he wants to go back, but I think he recognizes that he gets to decide how much work he does. And there's just something to be said for that.
If one of the big organizations hit you up and said, we want you, we love everything about you, keep the channel, what's the ideal job? What are you saying?
It would either be in commentary, doing something like this, or I've always wanted to be a man. I love old school managers.
Oh, yeah.
Like Bobby Heenan.
Paul Heyman now. He's
Exactly.
So you,
I think I could do
you'd
that.
want to be a character.
Yes.
Not someone behind the scenes, a producer, an executive.
I wouldn't want to be a producer. Okay. I wouldn't want that stress. I wouldn't want because the producer, that's a thankless job. If the match goes great, then the wrestlers get all the credit. If it sucks, they're pointing fingers at you. I wouldn't want that gig.
This is going to happen in the next couple of years.
What is?
Someone's going to call you. I can't believe no one's called you. I'm blown away.
If they don't, I don't keep that phone on ring.
No, I know, but you're so hot right now. You're so beloved. Like, you have a connection with people. You're such a great storyteller. Like, just the whole thing. Why wouldn't someone?
But that just might not be my path.
Right.
What if
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Yeah. What if my path is to do what I'm doing?
Oh, and I hope it remains that way. If someone tells you to close the channel, I hope you never listen to them. But my point is, if I was leading a company right now, you'd be one of the first people I'd call.
Oh, well, thank you. From your lips to God's ears.
And you know that, right?
I think I could provide value to a company. Yes, I do. But then what would that value be? Would it be a position that they need filled? Would it be a role that they currently don't have? And I think that's where the trouble falls. There's no shortage of commentators for the WWE. The guys that are doing it, they do a great job. So whose position would I take?
Right.
Am I going to do better than Corey Graves? Probably not. You know, so I get it. I completely understand. But like I said, I'm always open to any opportunity. I'm never going to close the chapter on professional wrestling.
When's the last time you've been backstage at a WWE event?
WWE event?
Yeah, yeah.
Man, I can't even give you a date.
Really?
I cannot give you a date. It's been that long.
Like over a decade?
Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Did you ever go back when you weren't in the company?
I did. Shoot, I think it was like when I was doing. I did a show. I had my own show, an R&B show on BET in 2006, and they were doing a show in, I want to say Nassau Coliseum, and I went backstage then, and it might have been that long.
Wow, is that weird for you?
Nah.
Because at that point you were still in the mix. You were doing things. You were relatively happy, right?
Yeah, I was happy because I had moved on.
Right.
I had allowed my next chapter to start. So I was perfectly content. If there was one thing I could do over, if I could get a do-over, Johnny Ace reached out to me in 2008 and asked me to come back. I wish I would have taken him up on that. And because I had just got the job with HSN and I didn't want to get rid of guaranteed money. But what I didn't take into consideration at that moment was I'm not going to be young forever. My body's not going to feel the way it did in 2008 forever. HSN I could have done at any time, but wrestling had a shelf life. And I just wish I would have, okay, Johnny, where you want me to go? Where am I going? The FCW? Sure, I'll go do it. And then go with a new gimmick, new appreciation for the business, and basically start my career in wrestling over again.
What was the pitch when he called you?
The pitch was, enough time has passed. You're no longer going to be the tough enough kid. Let's get you back. Let's see what you got.
And was it no on
I remember telling me he said, "You're still good looking. Let's get you back."
Was it no on the spot, or you like really wrestled with it?
No, I told him I had to think about it, and then the no came probably 2 weeks later when I was looking at guaranteed money on HSN and talking to people that were like, "You can be on HSN for the next 20 years," and it's hard to. Again, it's why I've made decisions based on money before, and I just don't want to make that mistake again.
Did he try to convince you?
He tried.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he didn't show up. I've heard stories of guys, Vince flying them in on their jet. It didn't go that far. I've never been on Vince's jet, but he tried. And by try, I mean it was a few calls.
Do you think Vince liked you?
I think Vince is a businessman. Vince signs the front of the checks. I sign the back. And I think when you make Vince money, he loves you. And then when you don't, he no longer has a purpose for you, which you can think that's heartless, but that's every businessman. That's every business person.
And so if you saw him now, what do you think? Like, do you think he'd have anything to say to you? Do you think he'd?
I think we would catch up the same way when I see Hunter. It's a handshake. Hey, how you doing? How's the family? How's everybody? It's a hug. It's brief, but it's heartfelt, and I mean it. And I know he means it when he sees me too. Whether there's any animosity or anything, man, we're all human beings.
Yeah.
Like who cares? Get past that. If I saw any of those guys, I don't concern myself with any way I was treated or any slight I might have felt in the past. Man, I'm moving forward.
I'll let you go to. This has been great. This has really been great. And if anyone out there is unfamiliar, if you're watching this with the YouTube channel, I urge you to subscribe.
Yes, please.
Subscribe and watch. Every Friday a new video comes out.
Yes.
By the way, why'd you guys pick Fridays?
I'd have to ask my partner that.
Okay.
But he told me when we first started, he was like, we're going to have a day.
Yeah.
And it's going to be something that we're going to teach the people that on this day expect our videos.
52 weeks?
Every week. We haven't missed a video in 2 years.
And how far in advance are you right now?
We have about 8 weeks in the can.
Already? Yeah. Okay, so you're going, like, you already know what's going out on Friday.
I do.
Teaser?
You want it?
Sure. Exclusive?
Okay. Yeah. So we had a video idea.
Okay.
And going off of the Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast likes round numbers.
Okay.
Just because it works, it looks good in the title. So we went to Brian Myers' school with the idea of I take 100 finishers. And
wow.
Yeah, and it was It was tough. And I used a bunch of Brian's students. I used Brian. And I think at finisher 65, I popped my shoulder out.
Damn.
And, yeah.
How long ago was this?
Month and a half.
Okay.
And it's a shoulder. I dislocated this shoulder when I first started wrestling, and I never let it heal. And I've probably popped it out 23 times since then. But it goes, it's like Lethal Weapon. It goes right back in. And I popped it out doing the finishers. And
So you're getting physical.
yeah.
This means you're getting back in there.
Nah.
You're taking bumps.
No, it means I like the idea of a YouTube video doing good. And anytime we've done 2 different videos at Brian's school, and they've done well.
Okay.
So, but the one I always had other people doing the moves. So this is just a payoff of you guys have given me a hard time because I got these students doing the moves. Now I'm doing it. Originally, we wanted to get to 100, so because that title would be just great.
Right.
And for all you YouTubers out there, title, thumbnail, content. There's your secret sauce for YouTube.
How involved are you in all that? Do you look at the thumbnail and say, "Man, I don't like this," or does
Yeah, of
Okay,
course,
okay.
of course. But I've maybe changed or given my 2 cents about maybe 5 along the way. That's it.
Okay.
I trust my partner implicitly. He knows what makes for good. And I think we were probably 3 months into doing this, and I'm just thinking, my gosh, is he ever going to make me look decent in any thumbnail? Because it's always just a stupid
Right, yeah.
But then again, who cares? Why do I care? I don't care.
Right.
It's a thumbnail. Like, as long as people watch, that's all I care about. That is it.
Everything's about a gimmick, and you've got, hey guys, Maven here.
Yeah.
How did that start?
No clue.
You just kept saying it.
Yeah, well, another thing with YouTube, I tell people all the time, get to the meat of what your video is about quick, because people will scroll. You'll lose people if you don't get to the point fast. So we were just looking for ways, and when we first started doing them, it was, in 2001 to 2005, I had the coolest job in the world. Well, that's too wordy. It's too long. So we were just looking for something quick. And my partner, there's another YouTuber, I forget the guy's name, but he always would start, hey, so-and-so, hey, guys, so-and-so here. So my partner was like, try hey, guys, Maven here. And it just took off.
It's so good. In the comments, it's hilarious.
And people leaned into it.
Yeah.
So I lean in.
Hey, Maven, guys here.
Yeah.
Like, it's fantastic.
I've heard the wedding I officiated last weekend. I started the wedding, and I got permission from the bride and groom. Hey, guys, wedding officiant Maven.
It's tremendous.
Yeah.
Everything you do is so great. Like, it's so buttoned up. I hope I'm not, like, glazing you here, as the kids say.
Thank you.
But you even do
Coming
that thing.
from you, thank you.
At the end, it's like, well, that's my story on this. If you want to know about this, that, and that, click on this. You guys do it so well. It's a credit and testament to you and your team. It's really, and I know it's a very small team, but you do YouTube perfect.
Well, that's real estate. You have to view that as real estate at the end of your video, and that real estate is a value. And if I can send somebody from one video to the next, then that is value added. That is me. That's why whenever we have somebody on, I make it a big deal to tell them to thank you. Not only some guys we pay, but to thank you, I'm going to shout you out and send people at the end of our video to wherever you want them sent. Because that's just, if people go and subscribe or look at your stuff or buy your merch or whatever, man, that's value added. So you thought I was kidding? I'm stealing this.
No.
Yo, I'm stealing this. This is mine now.
You pay. You pay some guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, because that's kind of like I know you talked to Chris about that. That's sort of like a rule. But you aren't a journalist per se.
Nah.
So you don't, okay.
Here's why. Because I know when people reach out to me, I know time costs. I know how much my time is worth to me. And whenever anybody is going to give me their time, especially one of the boys, I want to pay them back in some way. And yeah, there's been guys though. I tried like hell to hand, Raj. Oh gosh, Raj. What's his wrestling name?
Raj. What was his gimmick?
Oh, goodness gracious. I can't believe I'm drawing a blank. This is the concussions coming out in me. But anyway, I tried to, the Raj, the Maharaja.
The modern day Maharaja. Oh, the Canadian.
Yeah.
Now I'm drawing a blank.
And he's Canadian, and you're Canadian. Wow. What brotherhood.
Oh, my God.
What brotherhood.
Jinder Mahal.
Jinder.
Yes.
I tried like hell. I met Jinder in the parking lot where we were filming. He drove 2 hours to film with us, and I had an envelope, and I tried to hand it to him immediately. He wouldn't take it.
Wow.
He refused.
Wow.
He refused. We filmed. We were there for 2-3 hours. I tried to give it to him on his way out. I was like, Jinder, you drove 2 hours. You're driving back 2 hours. You're jumping on a plane tomorrow morning. Please let me give you some. And he refused. But like that's unheard of with wrestlers. But I want to just make sure guys know that I appreciate what they're providing me, and I want to make it worth their time.
That's class. That's class on your part. Last one I'll say. So I'm in my early 20s when you're on Tough Enough and then on WWE. Like this is I had a tough time in college. This is not about me, but I would just watch wrestling all day in my dorm. And so there you are. You get this opportunity. You're living the dream.
Right.
You're the fan turned wrestler. You get to eliminate the Undertaker. You get to be on Raw, SmackDown, all this stuff. And, I'm 21. I'm a freshman in college. Yeah. I had the biggest crush on Tori Wilson.
Me too.
And then you get to be in an angle with her. Yeah. And then not only an angle, like a love angle with her. Like, this guy's living the freak. He's living our dreams. He's a wrestler. He eliminates the Undertaker, and now he's with Tori Wilson?
Yeah.
What a life.
Yeah, whirlwind. I still remember thinking, because I had the biggest crush on Tori.
Everyone did.
I remember watching her with when she was in WCW.
Yeah, with Billy Kidman.
Yes, and thinking she's the perfect specimen. She's just perfect. And how my mind works, that is perfect. And then then I got to kiss her, and it's the worst kiss ever.
You did a video on that with your partner, yes.
I did. I talked about how that was the night all Tori's dreams came true.
That's right. That's a video. We got to get you guys together.
I would love
a
to.
20-year reunion.
I would love to. I follow her on Instagram, and I just haven't reached out. I haven't asked yet, but here I allow my partner. When I know whenever he wants to do something, there's a reason, and that reason is usually because it's going to be good. Now with the Buff video, Buff reached out to me. And about 2 months before his surgery, and said, "This is about to happen. I want you guys to document it." So, that was just, "Oh, you sure about this?" Okay, but I was honored to do that. But for the most part, my partner, he'll get ideas in his head, and he'll be like, "What if we do a video with so and so?" And then at that point, it's my responsibility to reach out and try to set it up. Some people say yes immediately. Some people it takes a while to get in touch with. Others don't return my message or whatever, and all of it's fine. It's all fine. But Tori,
that one needs to happen, man. Yeah. I can't even imagine what that was like back in the day. Well done, man. Truly,
thank you, bro.
Well done. Congratulations.
Coming from you.
No, seriously. It's really impressive what you're doing. It's great to see all these years later you thriving like this and having this success. I'm a huge fan. Congrats to you and your partner as well. And thank you for coming in. I know there's a lot going on in your life right now with the move and everything like that. Really, pleasure. I was so excited to have you in because I'm a genuine fan of what you're doing from all the way back then. I have the receipt. I have the photo from all the way back then. Crazy. So there he is. If you aren't,
I'm a fan of your work. Thank you.
Appreciate that. If you're not subscribing, please do so. It's Maven Huffman. Just put his name in there. Tremendous content. Even if you aren't the biggest pro wrestling fan, the way he tells stories, the journalism that he's doing is second to none right now. So well done.
Thank you so much.
We'll take a quick break. Say goodbye to Maven. Back with Modestas Bukauskas. Some of your questions as well. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up, leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.